News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we begin with an apparent reversal from President Trump when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein files. The president posted on social media last night that House Republicans should vote to require the Justice Department to release its documents on the late sex offender. In his words, quote, "We have nothing to hide and it's time to move on." It is a shift from a position that had President Trump calling conservative Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor and a disgrace to the Republican Party.
The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor. And that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene appeared on CNN's State of the Union. House Speaker Mike Johnson had resisted bringing the Epstein files up for a vote until a petition forced his hand. Now he says it shouldn't be an issue for the president.
He's not worried about it. I talk to him all the time. He has nothing to do with this. He's frustrated that they're turning it into a political issue, and it's not surprising because the Democrats have nothing else to talk about.
House Speaker Mike Johnson was a guest on Fox News Sunday, heard every Sunday on Bloomberg Radio. The House is set to vote on the Epstein files bill tomorrow.
Well, it could be back to normal today at the airport, Nathan. After more than a week of flight restrictions tied to the government shutdown, the Transportation Department and the Federal Aviation Administration are allowing airlines to resume normal operations at 40 major airports as of 6 this morning Wall Street time. Flight cuts had been capped at 3% through the weekend. They were supposed to rise as high as 10% by last Friday before President Trump signed the bill to end the shutdown. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy say staffing levels at air traffic control have continued to snap back since the government reopened.
Karen, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says President Trump's proposal to send $2,000 dividend payments from tariffs to U.S. citizens would require congressional approval. Bessent was asked by Fox News Sunday Morning Futures anchor Maria Bartiromo whether President Trump would be sending the payments.
We will see. We need legislation for that. And again, President Trump is all about solutions, Maria. And
yes.
Everything is on the table.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent again on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures. President Trump has touted billions raised in U.S. tariff revenue this year, and he's talked about sending checks as public frustration mounts over the cost of living.
Well, let's turn to the markets now, Nathan, where futures are mostly higher as we kick off the new trading week. Investors are awaiting some key earnings reports and the release of long-delayed economic data. This morning, Morgan Stanley raised its 12-month target for the S&P 500. Strategist Mike Wilson says we're in the midst of a bull market. He's raising his target to 7,800, and that's about 16% above current levels.
And Karen, of course, the big market event of the week comes Wednesday when Nvidia's highly anticipated earnings report hits. We get a preview from Bloomberg's John Tucker.
Nvidia's report will be closely scrutinized by investors who are increasingly uneasy over stratospheric AI valuations. And now the chipmaker is widely expected to deliver another earnings beat. Bloomberg Intelligence says demand from operators of massive data centers will more than offset problems Nvidia is having in China. But the $4.5 trillion company faces questions about SoftBank's recent exit as a shareholder. It's a move that's further fueled concerns that circular investments across the AI industry are creating a bubble. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, John, thank you. Well, Peter Thiel's hedge fund, Thiel Macro, sold off its holdings in Nvidia during the third quarter. According to a 13F filing, the fund offloaded its entire position of more than 537,000 shares in the world's premier AI chipmaker, which would have been worth about $100 million. The filing comes not long after SoftBank Group announced a similar move to sell off its shares in Nvidia in October. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.